Hello, my name is Kathy. I'm Donnie's stepdaughter. I moved down here 20 years ago, and I had nothing. But I got a lot of help from my family. My brother Jimmy took me in and got me a really good job. And I had that job for 7 years. And thanks to Jimmy, I bought a red Corvette. Thanks, Jimmy. My brother Raymond, he made it possible for me to buy a house. After 3 years of living in this state, I was able to buy a house. How do you thank somebody for that? But you know what? All my kids grown up and moved away, and I sold that house, and I bought a farm. And I get to have the best fun every day. Because on my little farm, I have a dirt track. So every week and all through the week, I can race around like crazy with my son. Now, Donnie was there for the everyday things. My brothers were there for the big things. But Donnie was there for the everyday things. He picked me up from work every day, and he schooled me on budgeting your money, save your money, budgeting your money, save your money. And that first year, within 3 months, living with my brother Jimmy, I then got my own trailer in the same trailer park. So I had Pop every single day. Brought me food, took me to the store, did everything. Now, Pop also was my kid's emergency contact number. And my son James had a habit of forgetting his lunch money. And they would call Donnie, he'd run right up there, bring the lunch money. But this went on, week after week after week. Donnie was starting to think James was a little slow in the head. So one day, Donnie comes to my house, and he says, talks with his hands. He says, I don't understand. How could the kid forget his lunch money 2 days in a row? Well, now I'm real upset with my son. And I yelled at him and said stuff I shouldn't have said. And then my son, he's 10 years old, looks up at me and says, Ma, I wanted Donnie to come up to the school. I wanted him to bring the lunch money. They would call me down to the office. He'd give me my lunch money with the lecture, and then I would leave the office, but I didn't go back to my class. I walked around the building and went into the art rooms and played around in there. Now, by this time, weeks have gone by, and now Donnie's best friends with the staff at the school, the nurse, the principal, the teacher, they all knew Donnie. So now, how do I tell Donnie that my 10-year-old son was using him to cut out of class? I mean, what do I do? I had to beg my son, please, maybe every other week, let's cut it down. I mean, Donnie will still be able to get out, because he took care of my mother for 25 years. So to get out of the house for a little bit, run up to the school, talk about your grandson, it was good. It was good for him, not so smart for James. Now, my stepson, Joseph, a lot of people probably don't know this, but he had a real deep relationship with Pop. Joey was 12 years old, and he was at the end of his rope. His mother was not very good to him, and Joseph would run away.
14.
I said you were 13, shut up.
14.
Well, Joey would run away. Now, Joe was smart enough to know he couldn't come to my house, so he'd go to Pop's. And Pop would talk to him for hours, like, Joey, calm down, you gotta go back to your mom's. Kathy and Pat are trying to go through the courts to get Joseph. I did finally get Joseph. But Joseph and Pop had a real special relationship. And it's like I owe Pop a lot for Joey still being here today and not hurting himself. Now, my mother, that man took care of my mother for 25 years. They say being a caregiver is the hardest job in the world. The only job harder is when you're related to the person. So he had a hard job for 25 years, and I thank him so much for all he did for everybody in my family, for me, my kids, my grandkids. I mean, he was Pop, you know? And I'm gonna miss him. And he's Italian. So I think a little amaretto, the toast Pop. Pop, thank you for being in my life. Now this is my bottle because I got the germs on it and you might have the corona. So that's mine. Last thing I have to say is, thank you.